From the world headquarters of Fox News, it's The Kelly File with Megyn Kelly.
Well, there has been 24 hours of debate now over the president's decision to open up relations with Cuba and why we have decided to do a deal with the dictators running this repressive regime. Critics have pointed out that when Vladimir Putin and the Russian military invaded Crimea, the White House did next to nothing, and that the mullahs in Iran are only now coming back to the bargaining table on Iran's nuclear program, despite years of sanctions and negotiations and a missed deadline just last month. All this leading folks like Charles Krauthammer to wonder where the administration will finally draw a real line.
Is there no tyrant or anti-American center in the world that Obama will not appease for nothing in return?
Joining me now, Mark Thiessen, an American Enterprise Institute fellow, and we are happy to announce he is now officially a Fox News contributor. Yay! Welcome to the team, Mark. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Megyn. Very happy to be a part of the team.
Well earned. Let's talk about it, Charles. Charles's accusation that this was complete capitulation and that he sees it happening on multi-fronts. Your thoughts?
He's absolutely right. I mean, look, this has been a banner week for the world's last police states, if you think about it. I mean, first, North Korea launches a cyber attack on the United States and gets away with it and forces Hollywood to unilaterally withdraw a movie. And now the Castro brothers have succeeded in forcing the United States to unilaterally end 5 decades of isolation and get nothing in return. This is terrible for the Cuban people, but it's worse for the United States because it sends a signal to the world that we can be pushed around. 9 U.S. presidents stood up to Fidel Castro, and Barack Obama blinked. So if you're watching this in Tehran, let's say, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, boy, I better get to the table and make some concessions to the Obama administration in the nuclear talks? No, you're thinking if the Castro brothers can get something for nothing, so can I. And it's the same thing in Russia.
But these earlier presidents, they stood up to the Castros, but it was earlier in time. There hadn't been such a long period of time where the embargo was in place and the relations were frozen and no progress was made. The Obama administration's defense is that wasn't working. Nothing was changing.
Well, what wasn't changing was that the Castro brothers were there. I mean, the problem with the embargo isn't that the embargo wasn't squeezing the regime. It's that the regime was, unlike, for example, Burma, the regime wasn't willing to negotiate. So let's put aside the efficacy for a second. We've had the embargo in place for 5 decades. The Castro brothers are going to die soon. So this is our leverage to negotiate a democratic transition. Everybody in Cuba is inside the regime and outside the regime is waiting for these people to die so they can normalize relations with us. And they're going to negotiate liberalization, just like we negotiate liberalization in Burma. We have nothing. We have no leverage anymore. We've given it all away for free. We've gotten nothing in exchange for this.
Is it for free? What did you? I don't know if you heard my exchange with Marco Rubio, but there's some question about in some military circles apparently today about whether this is meant to pave the way for the closure of Gitmo. That maybe there's going to be some deal between our president and Raul Castro that says, you know what, we no longer have these rights to this territory in Cuba, and therefore Barack Obama's hands are tied, and we got to get out.
So that's a victory for who? That's a victory for the Castro brothers if that happens. This is one victory after another for these people. And the problem is this is not going to improve the lives of the Cuban people at all. You know, people say the embargo hasn't worked for 5 decades. For 25 years since the fall of the Soviet Union, Europeans have been investing in Cuba, and it's still as repressive as it was before. The people who say U.S. investment is going to turn that country into a democracy are kidding themselves. It's not going to work.
I'm going to send you a little Fox News cap now that you're officially a Fox News contributor. You can wear it with pride.
Excellent.
Great to see you, Mark.
Thanks, man.